Stephen.
Sylvia. Sylvia. Sorry. Sylvia. Look.
I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry. I'm not prepared to talk about this. We agreed not to talk about the ownership of anything until we sorted things out.
Yeah, I know.
I'd
Sylvia,
never have had lunch with you if I'd have known you were going to try and start claiming the bed, for God's sake. God, I hate this.
Well, you think I enjoy it?
Besides which, you haven't got room for it in that crap little rented flat of yours.
It's Mum that wants it, not me. She said she'd eat it back if we're not using it. I mean, she did give it to us after all.
Why on earth didn't you say so? Why didn't you tell me that? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I haven't got time to stand here arguing over some clapped-out piece of Art Deco. Talk to my lawyer.
You haven't instructed a solicitor.
Figure of speech, Stephen. Figure of speech.
Marriage, man. Who needs it? What a bitch. Divorce. Who needs it? What a bitch, man. Divorce. Who needs it?
Solicitors for a start.
Pro. I should know on their part.
But Mr. Jesson rang. Anyway, Mr. Jesson rang saying he can't make it to the party after all.
Tell Mr. Fry. Better tell Mr. Fry. Should have told Mr. Fry anyway.
The health authority they mustn't write to Mrs. Walsh again.
Good. I've done enough damage with those bloody letters. You'd have thought they'd be content with killing her husband, wouldn't you?
And Mr. Murray's been on about his fence again. Another letter. 5 pages on the origins of the universe, according to Murray.
That man is a complete loon. He seems to think there's a local council scheme set up specially to annoy him in any way possible.
Yes. Do you want to reply?
No, but I will. Dear Mr. Murray, yes, I think God may well have been a spaceman. Elaine, what's this?
Raspberries. Well, they looked so nice.
I said biscuits.
Well, they didn't cost much more. Biscuits
are basically fat and sugar. Yes, I know. You know I know. I sympathise, Mr. Murray. People are mad. There's a woman in my office, for example, who likes to stuff my desk with bits of old fruit and bio-yoghurts.
Stephen, Jocelyn asked me to ask you if there's any conveyance.
Bio-yoghurts.
Oh, yes. In your case, Mr. Murray, despite your misgivings, I think we've reached the end of any profitable negotiation between you and your neighbour. I can only repeat my advice that the offer made to you by Mr. Thingy, whoever, is a fair one, and that it will harm your interests to ignore it.
Stephen.
Sure, look, there's a row of properties in Wanstead. You know, compulsory purchase, road widening is insanity. Have a go at that.
Thanks. By the way, I don't know if I told you, I've got to give this talk about...
Harm your interest to ignore it. I have not charged you for this letter, but I consider now my duties in this matter to be fulfilled. Blah, blah, blah. Anyone wants me, I'll be in the fire vault. The Austin family wills.
There's the party, don't forget.
I won't.
You will.
Well, it's the wretched clients tonight, honey. I did tell you. Yes, I'll be home before 10. at least you get the crap in cover. Ritzy shit.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Jesson, I'm sorry.
That's all right, Fred. It's okay. Right, gentlemen, if you'd like to follow me.
What's this one, Fred?
Accounts.
House, George.
Here you go. That's our local charity. We give them house room, you know, while the building's empty. You told us that.
They'll be leaving at the end of the month, Mr. Jesson.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a shame. Hamid, how's it going, son?
Hello, Mr. Jesson. Okay, soon.
Stephen, Jocelyn's concerned you might be late for the thrash. He finds Ron Jesson hard work.
Yeah, I'll be there.
And Ron's usually on time, if not early.
Yeah, I'll just finish these wills.
Why don't you take that back to your room?
I like ladders.
It's the thwarted cat burglar in your soul, Stephen.
Yes, that's right. Or the window cleaner.
So if you'd like to follow me.
All right, I'll find it, love.
Oh, well, yeah, if you'd just like to go up the stairs then, sir.
I'll find it.
I tried to show him this.
It's all right, Christine. You're on to yourself.
What are you doing up there, Stephen?
Oh, just hanging out, Ron.
Well, whatever turns you on.
Yeah. Ron, would you...
What would you do without me, Stephen?
I have no idea.
What is this place?
It's a fire vault.
Fire vault, eh?
Yeah. It's meant to survive if the building burns down, you know? To save crucial documents.
I didn't think it was to save your old knickers, Stephen.
Oh, you'd be surprised what some people write their wills on, Ron.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, this woman, she's getting married for the third time. So she decides to go to the gynaecologist for a checkup. Well, the gynaecologist is amazed because she's Virgo intacta.
Right, Stephen, I just saved your life. Now introduce me to somebody with more money than me.
Won't be easy, Ron.
Well, she said my first husband was a builder. He said he'd do it next Tuesday. Second husband was...
Charles.
I don't know why you invited me. I hardly ever use your services, Jesson.
One should always invite someone whose business is money.
Think so?
Ah. Absolutely. And you're old money, Charles. Does these people good to see you here?
Yes, very cheerful. Not a punch-up in sight.
Oh, one wouldn't discourage a punch-up. That'd mean work for us, too.
So he said, who are you marrying this time? She said, a solicitor. So he said, you'll be all right with him, dear. He'll screw you rotten.
Okay, what?
If only relationships could just come to a dead halt. Pack your bag and close the door.
Did you know that if you chop up eels, they go on squirming for hours after they're dead?
Stephen, you know this talk I've got to give, you know, the client relationship. I just wonder if there's a chance.
Yeah, later, Toby. I've just seen someone I'd like to get to know.
Sure. That's Felicity's.
Well, Stephen's very short-sighted sometimes.
Well, it's this, as long as she's getting married for the third time.
Hello, Stephen.
Sorry, who are you? Something vaguely familiar about you, but
What are you playing at?
No, I've never seen you before.
It's what we women call a frock, Stephen. Frock length to assertively heterosexual, do you think? Is that it? Are you trying to correct me politically, Stephen?
Corrections never appealed to me, as a matter of fact.
This is Edward. He's taking me on the river this weekend.
That's right.
Edward, this is Stephen.
Hello, Stephen.
Edward is in Sugar Futures.
That's right, and I think it's a lovely frock.
I'd just like to welcome you all here and make my usual brief utterance. It always gives me great pleasure to see our guests gathered together. And I'm sure it gives you some satisfaction to come to Louis Strange and realize that you won't be getting a bill at the end of it. Seriously, though, you are the reason for our existence, and it gives me an extraordinary sense of pride to be associated professionally with such a distinguished group of men and women.
Stand back.
God.
Keep away from the hose. Thank you.
More pressure on the hose. Get those hoses over there.
So I ran for the hut, right? I just get in, and boom! For the whole place, it went up. It's like the end of the world out there, right? And that one, he didn't even wake up. Veteran for England, he was.
I suggest you have that animal drug tested, Sergeant.
There you go.
Perhaps I could have a few words, Mr. Jesson.
What do you want to know?
What?
I'm Mr. Jesson's solicitor.
All right. I understand your client let out part of one of the floors of this building.
Did he?
According to that security bloke, to a charity, Refuge for the Victims of Racism.
Very possibly.
You don't know?
No.
Don't know much, do you?
What as I said, I'm his solicitor.
Only it occurred to me this might have been a racially motivated attack.
Very possibly. Do you want a minty?
Stephen!
I think this is more serious than you realise, sir.
I thought you were handling this. Sure, Ron, leave it to me, will you? Leave it to me. It's not bleeding out. I know, get in.
Look, we're dealing with a serious matter here. The security operative on duty was shot at shortly before the explosion. Also have reason to believe his dog was doped.
Well, he wouldn't dope his dog or shoot at him. He's looking after an empty building.
Empty except for these RVR people.
Oh, I see. Racially motivated dog doping. Not one of those for a while.
What?
No.
Gas.
Looks like it. There's loose solder at the point of fracture. Might be a cocked-up repair.
Gas? How do you explain the shooting then, eh?
Sorry?
The security guard was shot at just before the explosion.
Well, it may not have been gas, but that's what's going into my fire damage report. The consultant scientist may tell you different.
When will he get in?
As soon as the loss adjusters instruct him, they don't like to mess about.
Gutted. I mean, where are those Asian kids gonna go? I think someone's got it in for me, you know? You know, you check out buildings for years, you know? Don't matter. But that one.
I'm really sorry, Ron. Well, this gas repair.
What gas repair?
Well, the fire officer reckons that's what might have gone wrong. I mean, we should know about it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll need all the details. The insurers will want to know exactly what was done, when, and by whom.
I'll get Fred, he'll find out. I'll pay him, Stephen. I'll pay him. Why don't you go and get us some breakfast?
Right. And 3 coffees. And could I have a receipt, please?
A receipt?
Yes, if you don't mind. So that's 8:30
Why should I mind giving you a bloody
till, well, it's going to be 8:30 and then some.
Give you a bloody
What
receipt
do you
for
do about unsociable
£4.20,
hours?
eh?
Just call it 17 hours, shall we, Ron? So you didn't use the regular engineers for the gas repair?
Well, because their contract...
Because their contract is only to service occupied buildings, yeah, understood. So you got all this one-man band, Cathcart, hmm?
That's right, as soon as I knew there was a leak.
The Pressby here, yeah?
The night porter will give us a shout. Here's a terrible breakfast. Where do you get this garbage from, Stephen? Oi, God's sake, Fred.
Sorry, Ron, mate, sorry,
You got any idea what them models cost? How does your wife put up with you?
Well, no, she's,
You married, Stephen?
Only just.
Only just? What does that mean?
Separated, Ron, you know? Nice rented house for her, crappy little rented flat for me.
That's no good. You don't want that.
No. Could I use this, Ron?
Bit early, innit, Stephen?
I pay her, Ron, I pay her. So this Cathcart bloke, he was your third choice to do the leak, yeah?
Yeah, I had to twist his arm a bit, though. He was going off on holiday.
When?
This morning.
Sylvia, I'm sorry to wake you up, love, yeah. I just wanted to tell you the good news. I've decided to try and persuade Mum that she doesn't really want the bed. Yeah. Yeah, I thought you'd be pleased. Bye.
What do you do that for?
Felt like it.
There's 2 things you should never get emotional about, Stephen. Women and money.
Sorry, when's Cathcart going?
This morning. Crack of dawn kind of thing. Barbados.
So there was some sort of crime about to be attempted, yes?
We think so.
Why? Do we know?
Not exactly, no. The police do have theories. There could be a racial motive. They'll be talking to you later.
But the security guard was definitely shot at.
We think so. Yes, yes, he was.
What sort of gun?
A small handgun of some sort.
What was the name of the guard?
Mr. Casper Morgan.
How does Mr. Jesson feel about his pet building burning down?
Gutted.
Was the security guard hurt?
No, he's all right. He's gutted, mate.
Stomach wound?
No, try not to be so literal, Mr. Bonnie. We'll never get anywhere.
Why were refuge for victims of racism in the building.
Well, Mr. Jesson has been conscious for some time of the difficulties experienced by certain ethnic minorities in the area.
So he gave them free office space?
While the building remained unsold, yes.
That was a bit generous, wasn't it? For a ruthless operator like Mr. Jesson?
Yes, when did you stop beating your wife?
All right. Do you deny that it was an extremely convenient fire, then?
Convenient?
The Jesson Group, as it happens, will lose thousands having to scrap their plans to move into a new headquarters. That's how convenient it is.
Yeah, but that's not the whole story, is it? I mean, you tell me, how many millions of square feet of empty office spaces are in London, eh? You must have been praying for this fire, Mr. Jesson.
Excuse me? Who are you, then?
Styles, Chronicle.
I remember you, Mr. Styles. I know your sort, believe me. I know the species. Let me tell you something. That building was my group's future headquarters. It was a building that I was proud to be proud of. I hustled for that building. I drove the architects bloody mad getting that right. It was beautiful. It was my baby. It was mine.
Go. So, well, I'll ring you for that RBR number anyway. Okay? And we can talk to Styles.
Who's that tosser hanging about?
He went to school with me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ron Jess, dear, oh dear, oh dear. You do pick them, don't you?
You pick your nose, not your clients, you stupid bugger. You know that. And do you pick your stories? Of course you don't. They pick you.
But Ron Jesson, talk about a dodgy operator.
Save me the pinstripe version, mate. He's a hero in the East End.
Yeah. I doubt if they're queuing up to work for him. Unemployment record slightly worse than Stalin's, according to Ross in the Grognard last night.
You believe everything you read in the papers, do you?
Absolutely.
Bollocks. Anyway, Ron's okay. I'll get on with Ron.
You mean as an authentic louse to yourself?
I feel comfy with him, you know. So, what was Styles up to anyway, apart from being provocative?
God knows. Amusing himself, probably. Being chroniclish. This job gets to you sometimes.
You think mine doesn't? I've been up all night.
How's Sylvia, by the way?
Oh, she's okay. Legal separation stuff will be sorted soon.
Well, if you're doing it, it won't. I don't think you two even know if you want to junk each other. What's your version of events, then, would you say?
Well, we solicitors don't like to speculate, Mr. Bonning.
Sure.
Mind you, got any idea of the street value of a 50-kilogram dog? Because I think it might be a Colombian dog ring trying to corner the market in Rottweilers. What do you think?
All right, then. How about this? Two disadvantaged neo-Nazi morons set out for an evening of merry racist vandalism, yes?
As you do.
Brain dead or not, they could hardly be expected to know the place is full of gas, could they? They did rather a better job than they bargained for. You buy that?
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, look, the fire officer said, right, all it needed was a little spark to set it off. Well, I mean, you know, bullets could have hit something metal and...
Yeah, I see.
I've got to go. Talk to you later.
Yeah, bye. Can I have a receipt?
A receipt? What is this with a receipt? The world's gone bloody receipt mad.
Mr. Bonning.
That's me.
I would be profoundly grateful for a little of your time. It is concerning Mr. Jesson.
Oh, yes?
I would like to acquaint you with my experiences at the hands of this man and his friends.
Ah, Stephen. Oh, yes, thought I ought to tell you. Jesson rang in. He thought you handled the press really quite well.
Oh, good.
You get on with Jesson, don't you?
Yes, I do. He reminds me of my father.
What? Yeah, you are a tonic to the office, Stephen. You really are. Well, all I'll say on the subject is this. Ron Jesson may wear gold jewellery, but I'm not in the business of going by appearances.
No, quite.
I mean, look at you. I've said it to clients myself. I've said, look, Stephen may turn up with yesterday's muesli down his tie, but don't be fooled.
Brain like a steak knife.
Sharp, certainly, even if given to lurid similes. Oh, how is your father, by the way?
Dead.
I'm sorry, when did this happen?
1978.
Oh. Oh, yes, of course. Now, it's your mother. It's your mother, I remember. Of course.
Yes, no, she's fine, you know. Brain like a bread knife.
Good. Oh, good. Well.
Morning. Your mother rang. Have you got the parcel? You have. Behold, parcel.
Another month, another woolly.
Mm-hmm.
Another 17 hours on the Jesson account. And a solid cholesterol breakfast for 3, plus VAT. I think we should bill him again.
Right. Oh, and your wife melted the answering machine a few minutes ago. Quite cross. Quote, if he doesn't get that bed out of storage in the next 48 hours, I'll fetch it myself and burn the bloody thing.
I see.
Hi, I'm not interrupting, am I?
Yes, actually.
Oh, I'm getting on fine with those conveyances, by the way. Oh, did I tell you about this talk of mine, you know, the client right or wrong? I thought I might make it fairly anecdotal, you know, like relief sort of stuff.
It's been a long couple of days, you know.
But actually, it's at the heart of this whole business, don't you see? I mean, how would you define the client relationship, Steve, from our point of view?
Taste of boot polish.
Right. No, very good. Very good.
Toby, later in the week. Bye. Oh, yes, well done, Mum.
The Jesson file, if anything commercial comes up, I'll be in this afternoon. Oh, I didn't know you were a cricketer, Stephen.
Well, most of my qualities are hidden, you know. It's very impressive, Milner. Oh, God's sake. Hello?
It's Ron. Have you seen the Chronicle this morning? Stephen? You there?
Ron, what could possibly suggest to you that I've seen a copy of this morning's Chronicle?
Well, you better go over here then, haven't you? I'm paying you, Stephen.
OK, Ron. Bleeding hell.
I mean, he good as says I burn it down, doesn't he?
Yeah, the implication seems pretty clear. Yeah, I think this would be strong enough for us to take action if you thought it the desirable course.
A desirable course? What are you talking about, Stephen?
I'm trying to sound like a solicitor, Ron, is what you're paying me for. You realise this makes a nightmare out of the insurance claim, don't you?
Why? I didn't burn it down. Stiles says I did. So I want Stiles and that shit sheet that he writes for hung up by the financial ghoulies. Now that is what I think is a desirable course.
Well, that seems fairly unequivocal, Ron.
Right. That's for you.
Thanks, Ron. That's very decent of you.
You do smoke, don't you?
No, but
This is Mr. Hipps, Mr. Milner. Mr. Hipps is a senior administrator at Middlesex Zoo. He has an appointment 15 minutes ago.
I do apologise, Mr. Hipps.
That's all right.
I was up half the night with a client.
Yes, I read the Chronicle.
Yeah, he wants to sue.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Mr. Hipps.
Stephen Milner's office. Elaine speaking. Can I help you?
Right. It's my cherry, isn't it?
Yes.
Can't do without it, can I?
Message regarding bed. 24 hours to firewood.
Thank you, Elaine. All right, Mr. Hipps, why don't you tell me all about yourself?
Right. I better start at the beginning.
Oh, yes.
Nissan Cherry Maxima, GSL, metallic jade, oatmeal trim. That's me.
Yeah. Do you think we could try a little experiment, Mr. Hipps?
What's that?
Well, it's the latest thing from California.
Oh, yes.
I record your case, you see. Meanwhile, I close my eyes and empty my mind, even while I'm listening to you, you see. Then when you finish, you just lean across and tap me on the hand, you see. And that way we bypass the conscious mind.
Oh, yes.
Because most problems are solved in the subconscious, you know. And this saves time, and therefore money.
Right.
You get the general principle.
Good.
Off you go.
Well, yes. Nissan Cherry Maxima, GSL, metallic jade, oatmeal trim.
Good.
I parked in my designated parking space in the car park, and the Hampton driver who delivers the hyena meat crashed straight into my front wing, Mr. Milner.
I took you at your word about burning it. Yeah.
I was actually very cross. You know what I'm like in the mornings. Anyway, there's no point wasting the van now you've paid for it. I still don't know why I had to come.
We don't touch the stuff in storage unless we're both there. You made the bloody rule.
Right. All right.
Your container, madam.
Oh, look at that. Joan Baez. God. I was 13 when I bought that. We shall overcome. I can't even remember what we were supposed to be overcoming, can you?
Everything that's happened since. God. It's like opening a tomb, isn't it? How are you, by the way?
Fine, thanks.
Are you with anyone at all?
Not really. You?
No. Too much to do, you know.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Always used to amaze me that you became a successful solicitor. Then you didn't really, did you?
Not really, no. Helps to know what you mean by successful, I suppose.
And you don't?
No.
Poor old Stephen.
Not really. I wondered if this would still be here. Look, the last meal I cooked for you.
You cooked? I'm sorry. I cooked it. I cooked the damn thing. You burnt it. It was nearly midnight when I came home that night. And what do I find? A plate of grade 2 coal. Last straw.
Sums it all up, really, doesn't it?
Well, let's get this bloody bed out of here.
Well, what on earth's that?
Grandma's bed, Mum. You asked me to bring it down.
I did I?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm awfully sorry, Stephen, dear.
Well, you said you'd be grateful because it's part of a set.
Yes, I see. Well, yes, it is, yes. Horrible thing. Why on earth I gave it to you, I can't imagine.
I asked for it.
Oh, good. Did you?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I rather liked it, you know. Belonged to Granny Campbell, didn't it?
Yes, yes, it did, yes. 3 generations have wriggled around in there. Pity you didn't have any results. I'd have liked a grandchild.
Oh, for God's sake,
Well, never mind, as long as you had some fun in it, that's the main thing. Well, the poor boy's been having such bad luck lately, I'm not surprised. He said he needed it.
What, Ben? Bloody Ben? I should have known!
Oh, there's no need to get cross. He's your brother when all's said and done. Now, you will be a dear and take it round to him, won't you? Please.
So, Rag, I'm Christy. What's the matter with you? Can you lend me 200?
No. Who do you owe it to?
Never mind. How about 400? What? Oh, forget it. Listen, if you lend me a few hundred, you won't have to explain to me what a walking possession thingy is.
Walking possession order. What's going on?
Well, these blokes came round.
What, the bailiffs?
Yeah.
You let them in?
No, I spoke to them through the door, and I said they could have the bedroom furniture. And that's when they started talking about a walking possession order. They allowed to break in or anything?
Not yet, no.
Listen, if you lend me a few hundred, you can put this stuff in a proper sale instead of some Mickey Mouse auction round the corner, which is what the bailiffs are going to do.
No!
It's worth a lot more than 400. More like £1,000. It's good Art Deco. There's a sale in Godalming on Tuesday. I rang them, I showed them the photos, and they valued it at £1,000.
No!
Why not? Your van's outside, it will only take us 10 minutes. Why give a bunch of wankers an extra 400? There's a number of the auction rooms. Ring them and ask them. Oh, you can't use that. It's been disconnected.
The bloke who was supposed to fix the gas leak, Cathcart, I checked him out.
Why did you bother to do that?
I don't know. Because Stars doesn't mention him in his article, I suppose. And if I'd written it. Anyway, I spoke to his daughter. He's in fact gone to Barbados, like you said. The Bajan Imperial Hotel already.
Oh, very nice.
Is Jesson doing anything about the Stars article?
He's going to sue. I didn't say that. Gotta go.
No, there's something else.
Yes?
A guy called Rao. Ajit Rao. He's a businessman. Had dealings with Jesson.
What, the victims of racism thing?
No, don't think so.
No?
No, he doesn't think he owes Jesson any favours at all. In fact, he claims that Jesson...
Yeah, look, I've really got to move, mate. Doesn't sound the sort of thing I should be listening to anyway.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes. Well, quite frankly, Stephen, I'm able to tell you, in confidence, that the people at the Chronicle would like to disown the Styles story altogether. The night editor was clearly asleep at his post. Between you and me, Stephen, strictly off the record.
That's understood, Julian.
Unofficially speaking, Stephen, the Chronicle recognises that it may have overstepped the limits of what is and what is not defamatory.
Yes. Of course, they must know that they do bear legal responsibility for the obloquy, Julian. They can't hide behind Styles.
Indeed not. A fairly unsavoury position to take up anyway. No, I wonder... I mean, given that we were in accord on prominent size, position and so on, do you think your client might wear a published apology?
Well, that's generous of you, Julian, but I don't think that road's really open to us. He's never accepted one before. I'll convey the offer, of course. Recommended, indeed.
If you would.
I rather think he wants the editor's left arm in his fridge to chew on from time to time. Or £500,000.
Ah.
In the late 1970s, I owned 5 laundromats. I was brought up in England mostly, you know. I knew my way around. Then I came up against a man called Radcliffe. There, where Radcliffe had his first one. I had 5 At that time, he had only 2.
And the first thing Radcliffe did was to offer to buy you out, presumably.
Half of the market value.
And you refused. I suppose I can guess what happened next.
The violence began. There. That was one. Ah, sauna and massage now. Is that an improvement? I wonder. Do you find more fun in a laundromat or in there?
Probably a question of who's doing the assisted wash.
At first, it was broken windows and shit through the letterbox. Eventually, one night, Radcliffe torched 2 of my premises. He also paid for some witnesses, very convincing ones. One was, anyway, Mr. Ronald Jesson.
Witness to what?
That I had set light to my own premises for insurance purposes. You know about this man, you said?
Yeah.
Hello, Stephen, mate.
Yeah, look, this thing doesn't work. There's a key above the door.
I'm not interrupting anyone.
No, I was just extinguishing my 5th best cricket, Willie.
Of course you are. You were, too.
Yeah. I'll just take this thing off.
My God. You still listening to this rubbish?
Yeah. You?
Yeah, me too, yeah.
It's a good article about the fire. That was helpful too after that style garbage. Thanks. I don't want to hear all this, you know. Think of me as the monkey on the left.
It's the truth.
Balls. It's not. It's hearsay. That bloke Rouse says it, you hear it. Flops on my plate, it's hearsay. It's not evidence. I'm not going to talk to him, Hugh.
It doesn't have to qualify as evidence to be true, you know that?
Earplugged. Sorry, Jesson is my client.
So? What? You think Jesson gave the RVR people the office and the equipment and so on because he cares? I think he gave it to him because he wants to give himself a good press while he burns down his own office block. So does my editor.
Oh, yeah?
He wants me to do an investigative piece on Jesson.
Oh, great. Well, go ahead, have a ball.
It's why I'm here.
Oh, sure.
Tell me something, will you? How bad do you have to feel about someone before you decide you don't want them as a client? Okay.
But you'll go ahead with your investigative article.
I haven't decided. I might.
But I will give you a lift.
No, it's okay. It's out of your way. No, you see, the thing is, Stephen's an old mate. I'm not about to dump him in it.
What about the truth?
What about it?
You are a journalist. Surely it is your mission to tell the truth.
Listen,
you are a journalist.
I'll give you a ring tomorrow, Mr. Rao.
With a decision?
Perhaps.
Where to, pal?
Victoria. Let me take note for you. Mr. Milner.
Yes.
Very good, very good. I am Ajit Rao. I am very pleased to meet you.
Yes, that's great, Mr. Rao.
You are, it seems, the man with fatal power over my life, Mr. Milner.
What are you talking about? I wish you hadn't done that, Mr. Rao. I don't have my key.
Ah, the key. But you have one for your visitors. Allow me.
Thanks.
But perhaps I have power over a few minutes of your life, instead of trying to get back into your home, which I'm sure you could do.
Don't be boring, Mr. Rao.
You could spend the time listening to me.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to, so you might as well give it back.
No.
Oh, bloody hell. Look, I've got my supper on the stove. Now, if I leave it, instead of it being a barely edible caggy mess, it'll become a burnt and totally inedible caggy mess. Also, my fire insurance, if I know anything about sodding insurance, will have about 200 quid excess on the buggering thing, so give me back the bloody key. All right, come on.
At first, I was frightened. I was hiding in my own home. I managed to cure myself of that. Great willpower. I was defiant. Heroic. The mistake I made was going to law. You see, British justice is a very seductive myth. I thought the truth will out, so I sued. Very foolish. I lost everything. No damages, no insurance money, no laundrettes. Very foolish. Well, if that was a curry, I'm a Dutchman. Very tasty. Thank you. Ah, fine view. The city, very fine. When I was young, I used to dream of enormous conquest, an empire, a respected citizen. Did you ever dream of enormous conquest, Mr. Milner?
Yes. Her name was Melissa Bellingham, as I remember. Looks like neither of us made it, Mr. Rao.
Thanks for listening.
That's all I've done. Cheerio.
On a grapevine, Stephen, thought you should be the first to know, between you, me and a goalpost. Little Dicky Bird told me this morning that this consultant scientific tosser's done his stuff. And what has he come up with? Zilch. A gas leak. I don't know, so many cubic meters of gas in a building, one spark, and bosh. So we're all right then, aren't we? Got their asses in a sling. Yeah.
Tell me, Ron, do you know anyone called Ratcliffe? Terry Ratcliffe?
No.
I was just having a drink in the East End, you know, heard his name come up. He was into laundrettes.
Never heard of him, why?
No, just something he's supposed to have said. I just wanted your advice, that was all. I'll be in touch, okay?
Morning.
Morning, Mr. Milner.
Morning. Anybody there? Perhaps you could switch on your answering device. Beep. Oh, thank you. It's Elaine, your secretary. It's Thursday the 14th. Just to say when you rejoin the planet that Mr. Hipps rang from a phone box. Quote, need my cherry sorted. Mr. Murray writes to ask if you have a problem about taking his money. Mentions for some reason he's proud of the fact that his mother was partly Maltese.
You ever met Ron Jess?
Yeah?
Do you like him?
No.
No, see, people don't.
Well, do you?
Well, that's the great unanswered question, isn't it, really? you think people change very much?
Well, I wouldn't have married John if I hadn't thought he'd changed quite a lot.
But he didn't.
Oh, yeah, he did. He got even more like I didn't want him to be. So, I left.
Hi, Stephen. Those conveyances you asked me to do the searches on, all done.
Stephen, Toby searched those bloody awful conveyances in Wanstead for you. The road widening nonsense.
Thanks, Toby. Great, mate. Had any great thoughts about the client relationship yet, Toby?
One or two. Jocelyn was quite helpful. What's an apothegm, by the way?
It's a pithy saying.
Oh. See, I'm not an expert at the moment, but
You'll have to talk to Jocelyn. You do realise that, don't you?
As long as you do.
So, which hat are you dressing me in, Stephen? Solicitor or moral advisor? Because they wouldn't be saying the same thing. Perhaps it would help to be reminded what profession you're in. That's your relationship with your client, not Plato, not parish priest, solicitor.
You know, sometimes you sound awfully like a solicitor.
At least that's something I could never accuse you of, Stephen Oldbeam.
You know, I always turn to Matthew at moments like this. Matthew was always able to offer one an apothegm in a crisis.
Oh, good.
Now, you do understand, Stephen, don't you, that I'm not interested in the identity of this client of yours, don't know who it is, don't want to know who it is. This is just a general observation.
Sure.
Well, Matthew would have put it like this. Do you have material proof that your client is deceiving you? Well, do you?
Not really.
Ah. Then Matthew would have added, do you have material evidence that your client is doing anything dishonest? Do you?
Not really, no.
Then if the answer to both questions is no, you stand by your client. You don't ditch clients on the basis of personal distaste. Clear?
Clear as biscuits, Jocelyn. I support my client.
That's the consensus, is it?
No, he said I had to. I consented.
Discomfort comes with the territory, Stephen.
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing, Charles, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to get rid of any stock I have in the construction industry. Seems a bit moribund. What do you think?
Fine. That would include your Jesson Group stock, of course.
Oh, yes, I suppose it would. I hadn't thought of that. Never mind, never mind.
Can you be careful what you do with that, please? You haven't said what you'd like done with it, Mr. Jesson.
Bennett, I don't know, you thought it.
Yes, Mr. Jesson.
Oh, Haley.
Yes.
Bring some champagne, will you? And bring yourself a glass.
The garden's a bit of a mess. Mr. Potter never turns up.
Well, you never pay him.
Don't I? Well, why didn't you tell me? I pay him. Look at it.
I think he expects you to remember, Mum. I mean, I pay him when I see him, but, you know, the rest of the time it really is up to you.
I think it's very silly of them. People are out of work.
Why doesn't Ben help in the garden?
It's very busy looking for work, dear.
No, he isn't, Mum.
And then there's his hand, of course. He's hurt his hand, poor boy.
Very unfortunate for him.
Oh, what's this he tells me about you? Forcing him to sell the bed I gave him.
I didn't, Mum.
Didn't you?
No.
Oh, well, perhaps I got it wrong. Oh, let's have a drink. Who did this, then? You know, we'd never have let you near the law if we'd realised how dangerous it was. Who's after you?
What?
Oh, I realise you can't tell me. Your father was just the same, but I knew how frightened he was.
Frightened?
Your father was brought up with some extremely dubious people.
Yes, well, he was moderately dodgy himself.
Amazing what he achieved.
Yes, from rags to serious bankruptcy. Brilliant.
I wish you wouldn't talk about him like that, Stephen. You know I don't like it. I don't know where you get your cynicism from. He was a charming man.
I know, Mum, I know. I liked him.
Well, there you are, you see.
The fact is, though, he was a sharp operator.
Well, if you can't even be loyal to your own father...
It's got nothing to do with loyalty, Mother. Hello? Oh, hello, Hugh. Yeah, sure. Yes, of course. Yeah. Yeah, I know where it is, yeah. Yeah, OK, bye.
I'll do what I can with this, I suppose.
Thanks.
That wife of yours doesn't look after you properly.
Yeah. I don't think I got married to be looked after. Not even properly.
What on earth did you do it for, then?
Do you remember Cathcart, the bloke who messed up the gas repair? Yeah. He's in Jesson's pocket. The bugger is, I can't work out how Jesson exploded the gas. It'd only need a spark, but the spark would have to be timed, and the consultant scientist said that timing devices always survive in some shape or form. Well, Jesson didn't use one, and he wasn't there, so how did he do it? Anyway, that's my problem. This is yours. Taken 3 years ago at the opening of Jesson's Hotel in Barbados.
What?
Styles and Jesson. So what was that charade at the press conference? Cathcart went to Barbados for a holiday. The Bajan Imperial Hotel.
The opening of the Bajan Imperial Hotel, the Jesson Group's new hotel in St James, Barbados.
Stinks, mate. I wouldn't want to get downwind of this one.
Yeah, I suppose. No. No, I don't accept this.
What? Why the hell not?
Well, what are we saying here? Cathcart stayed at Jesson's hotel. Well, it's the sort of hotel he would stay at, isn't it? What? Jesson and Styles are mates. So what?
So, Styles writes the offending article and Jesson sues and they share the proceeds.
No, I'm sorry, I don't buy it.
Oh, for God's sake, what is your problem?
Well, what do you think it is? Premenstrual tension? Ron Jesson is my client.
Yes, so you keep telling me. It's not a bloody marriage, Stephen, or is it? I mean, do you take client vows or something?
Yes,
through thick and thin? Shit or shine?
Yes, we do. We have to. Ron looked lovely. He wore a full-length ivory silk dress and orange blossom up his nose.
Yeah. OK, listen. Styles drinks in a hellhole called the Emmanuel Video Bar. I'm going to talk to him. You going to come, or will you despise yourself in the morning?
You realise I'm not actually here, don't you?
Hello, boys.
Oh, nice. I think I might bring Sylvia here for our divorce party.
Yeah, does look like me, doesn't it? I wonder who it is. I'm better looking, mind. Oh, blimey, don't do it to me, darling.
We happen to know that's you, Dave. Matter of fact.
Bollocks, sod off.
I don't think you're getting through to him, Hugh.
Why did you write that story, Dave?
What? Go back to your playpen. Yes, yes, yes.
You're the only journalist flown out by the Jesson Group for that thrash in Barbados. So what are you guys up to? If you really meant that article to stick, you must know more than you wrote.
Very boring. Why don't you go and speak to that brick wall over there?
Why didn't you follow up the guy who fixed the gas leak, Dave?
Oh, lovely.
Who's currently holidaying, courtesy of the Jesson Group, in Barbados.
Listen, you see that pair of tits up there? Well, I'd rather look at that pair of tits than you pair of tits. So why don't you just sod off?
No, I'm glad we came. Really.
Fairly conclusive. I'm not giving up on this.
Look, Hugh.
He did it.
Where the hell are you, Stephen? You trying to avoid me or something? Listen, I don't like the road you've been taking, so call me, right? It's Ron. Get in touch, Stephen. What are you up to? This is Ron. What the hell are you up to? supposed to be suing the bastard, not chatting him up. What are you doing, Stephen? Now, I want an explanation of this. So quickly. Soonest. You better.
I'm Hamid, by the way. Hamid Khan. We're trying to run our branch of RVR from here now. Looks like we need a refuge ourselves.
I'm trying to eliminate certain things about the fire, so we know how to respond if the press gets sillier, you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah, what can I tell you?
The answering machine. The one you had in Synergy House. Did you have it repaired?
No, never.
Serviced?
No, it's fine.
No one came to look at it for you in any way?
No.
What about security? I mean, could anyone have got in and tampered with it?
No, we set the alarms ourselves. Our files contain some very sensitive material.
Right, okay. Okay, thanks.
Right.
Well, you got yourselves set up nice and quickly anyway.
Yeah, thanks to Mr. Jesson.
Yeah?
Yeah, he made sure the contents insurance was paid up double quick. For our machines and that.
Yeah. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he even gave us a fax. Not this one, though, the other one. Shame, really, we'd hardly got it out of the box. You know what, even sent his chauffeur to bring it over.
Ron Jesson had the fax delivered to you?
Yeah, personal delivery. Just the afternoon of the fire. What is it?
Bastard, Ron. You bastard.
Bastard! So, according to you, Ron Jesson tampers with a fax machine. He has it installed in Synergy House. Then, when the building is full of gas, for which you say he is also responsible, he triggers off an explosion by having a fax transmitted at the critical moment?
Yes. He needed the insurance money to service his debt.
No, Stephen, no. These are enormously serious allegations for which you have no material evidence whatsoever.
Right. I'm going to cease to act for him. I just thought I should tell you why.
I beg your pardon. No, Stephen, no. Absolutely not. You do not walk out on clients, especially of Jesson's importance, on the basis of hearsay and coincidence. Absolutely not.
He hasn't paid his bill in 9 months.
Brian.
Do you have an appointment?
Oh, and I want that Mr. Milner of yours up there and all. Oh, good.
Ah, Ronald. Oh, how good to see you again. Well, what would you like? A drink? Coffee? What would you like? Only have a chair, my dear fellow.
Oh, thanks. What's going on?
Going on?
I suggest you ask Stephen what he's been up to.
Oh, very well. I will, of course. Stephen?
The gunmen were a nice touch.
What?
We didn't know what they were there for at first. We think we know now.
Stephen, will you please stop talking in riddles and tell us what you've been doing?
I'll tell you what he's been doing. Him and some journalists got together to try and test the dirt on me. Me, his own client. He's broken every rule in the book, never mind the ethics.
That is extremely serious. Do you deny this allegation, Stephen? Have you anything?
I employ him to defend my interests, not to gang up with some scumbag journalist. Where's his sense of loyalty?
Loyalty? Don't you give me all that.
Well, what else would you call it?
I don't know, whitewashing over the crap down the wall.
Stephen.
Do you know what people think of you, Ron? Do you know what they really think of you? They're not half scared to death. They're outraged. They see you coming, they're locking doors. I actually tried. I even tried to like you. I'll tell you where my sense of loyalty is. Matter of fact, Ron, it's waiting to get bloody paid.
What on earth do you mean, Stephen?
I'd like some money, quite frankly, Ron.
Having your boots licked clean every other day involves a lot of highly skilled professionals like me, and we don't do it for ashtrays.
Cut the sarcasm. I still owe you.
£11,383.29.
It's no problem. Presumably you'll accept cash jostling. It's about 10 grand there, all right?
I'll invoice you for the rest, shall I?
Required, Stephen. Thank you, Ronald.
Good jostling. Now, what are we gonna do about this? I don't want to have to use the law society. I mean, I've got far too much respect for an old established firm like yours to embarrass you in that way.
Well, that's very decent of you, Ronald.
Realise that he has to go. Do you understand, Jocelyn, that I can't be represented by a firm that employs a man like that, yeah?
Oh, absolutely not. I quite understand that. It'd be impossible for you.
Good. You'll never work again, son.
Yeah, well, that would be a little ungenerous now, wouldn't it, Ronald? After all, he's not entirely irredeemable, and taking into account the circumstances surrounding the fire, the holiday arrangements of some of your employees, well, all this, as Stephen says, does constitute what someone less charitable than myself might describe as a somewhat dubious scenario, Mr. Jesson.
What? What are you saying?
No, I'm only agreeing with your previous suggestion, Mr. Jesson. It would indeed be impossible for you to remain with us. So much better were you to take your business elsewhere.
So you don't want to go on representing me, and he stays? Is that what you're saying?
That's what he's saying.
That seems to be what I'm saying, yes.
Right. Sub you. Sub the paria. Don't think you've heard the last of this. Don't ever think it.
Sods! My goodness. I'm glad he's gone.
Thank you, Jocelyn.
Thank you. I mean, 86% of, what, £11,383.29 is an awful lot better than no percent. Oh, what were the gunmen for, by the way?
Oh, they were to frighten Casper Morgan back into the security hut. Jesson didn't want him hurt.
Really?
Well, Morgan's family used to run Jesson's hotel in Barbados. Quite nice of him, really.
I see. Huh. You'll never prove any of this, of course. Mind you, I think we can safely leave that to the journalists, don't you? Well, the only pleasure I derive from the whole thing is that one's instincts about people seem to hold good. I never liked the man. Good to know, despite appearances, he's turned out to be a total turd.
Ah,
I haven't got long.
I thought we were having lunch.
I'm having lunch with Julian Hargreaves.
You haven't? But you said you wouldn't, not a bloody solicitor.
I'm sorry, Stephen.
You obviously said it first.
I'm sorry, but things are just taking too long. And look, he told me to give you this, by the way.
Harrods.
Well, I've got to have another bed. You've taken ours.
800 quid?
It was in the sale, Stephen.
Oh, never mind, big man. Well, at least you've still got your crappy rented flat.